What up, what up, what up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a review of Bel-Air Season 3, Episodes 9 and 10, which is Episode 9 and the season finale. If you haven't seen those two episodes, then turn this video off and go watch them, and then come back and watch this review. And please like and subscribe to the channel. I can't express enough how much that helps. I know I sound like a broken record every review, but liking and subscribing helps the most. It takes less than 10 seconds to do. It's free. It don't take no money out your pocket. None of that. If you want to support, just hit like, hit subscribe. I'm not a public speaker. I will tend to fumble my words and say and so and like. I may stop to regain my thoughts. I may slow my speaking down to regain my thoughts. I might be looking at my notes that I take throughout the show. Anything I say, it's my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. Comment below what you thought of episodes 9 and the season finale. If I forget anything or if I'm off on anything, I forget to talk about something that you thought I should talk about, let me know in the comments. And I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. Of course, we're going to talk about episode 9 first. And I will put in the description the timestamp before I start talking about episode 10. And I will give a alert as I'm speaking before I start talking about the finale, just in case people only saw episode 9 and didn't see the finale yet. So for right now, we're going to be talking about episode 9 of season 3. And I'm going to grade it, I'm going to give it a B minus for now. I can't really remember what happens in episode 9. I remember the finale more than I remember episode 9. I'm gonna give episode 9 a B minus for now. I might change it towards the end, but for now I'm gonna give it a B minus. So last chance, if you haven't seen episode 9 of season 3 of Bel-Air, then turn this video off because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. So episode 9 begins. Carlton, Will, and Lisa, they're still reeling from Amira's overdose. And Will, he gets a text from Q telling him, you and Carlton got investors lined up for Black Sets. You need to tap in. Carlton, he goes off on Will. He blames her for Amira's OD. Says some fucked up shit like he's just like his father. He's going to end up like his father. Him and Will almost get into a little scuffle, and Phil and Viv got to come kind of diffuse the two of them. And they sit them down, and they telling Carlton he can't be blaming Will, and then they asking Carlton if he overdosed, and talking about Amira, and Carlton's like, yeah, like I can't believe I'm the one getting interrogated, and then he basically snitches on Will and tells them about him being at the Campbell Project fire. So as Frederick's still out here in these USA streets, shooting dice, hustling people and shit, he gets ambushed in the alley by some London dudes, apparently from the organization that Jeffrey used to work for. Viv goes to Will, has a one-on-one. She going off on him about the choices and decisions that he's making and him being involved in this crime and how he could end up like Jazz, who is now arrested for the crime Will didn't know, and makes Will call his mother to tell her what he did. Cause she's like, your mother already think I'm being soft on you. So Frederick gets home. Jeffrey and Penelope are having lunch, and of course they notice the bruises. And Frederick lies and says that it was just a couple of bookies that he had a disagreement with. And I mean, for all we know, maybe Frederick did think that it was just some bookies. He don't know about the London people threatening his life. I mean, Jeffrey kind of told him when he showed him them pictures and was like, I'm keeping you safe. Ivy and Hillary meet with the wedding planner, and the wedding planner's kind of on edge about trying to get this wedding in Martha's Vineyard together within the week. And Ivy's throwing a little shade at Ashley because she's not the maid of honor, and Ashley is, but she wants to talk about how Ashley hasn't even been around, basically helping out. And then Hillary gets the call about Jazz, and she meets with Will to go bail him out. And Will's like he used the funds from Black Sets that was going to go to Jazz anyway to bail him out. And he needed Hillary to co-sign. Yolanda Porter comes in all concerned about Jazz. And, Hillary looking her up and down. And It's just the awkwardness of it all. You can see the look on Hillary's face. So Jeffrey, he's still frustrated about Frederick's beatdown and how he done searched the streets. He can't seem to figure out who did it. When he used, Jeffrey usually be on top of stuff like he usually be able to find out stuff. So the fact that he can't figure out who did it is annoying him. And Penelope makes the suggestion, like, how about the three of us just run away together and start a new life? Jeffrey, he brushes it, laughs it off. Like, you always make the funniest little, whatever he said to her. Like, basically, he brushes it off as Penelope was just, like basically thinking Penelope was just joking. But I'm like, he knew she wasn't joking. But at that moment, he was just like, I can't leave the Banks family. So Will, he texts Q, like, what's going on with Carlton? We just need a little bit more time. And Q's like, I know things are hard, but this is the point of a time that makes or breaks a man. Y'all, like, y'all in or y'all out. I ain't got time to wait for y'all. So Carlton, he drops flowers off at Amira's place, and Amira's mother comes out, tells Carlton, like, look, we got nothing against you, but Amira just needs time to recover in peace by herself. And Carlton, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overstep. And he's like, I know this time of year is probably hard for you all. And the mother's like, what you mean this time of year? And then he's like, well, Amira told me about the anniversary of her sister's death. And Amira's mother is like, Amira didn't have a sister. I was like, we all knew she was lying in a way, because she told Aunt Viv that same story the night that she was supposed to have dinner with her and Phil. And then she told Lisa the same story a couple days later. And we all knew, like, it can't be the same day. So we know you lying. Either the anniversary of your sister's death already passed, or you just lying all in general. So it turns out she never even had a sister. So Carlton and Lisa, they at the country club. And Carlton's telling Lisa that Amira's mom told him that Amira was in a bad car accident and the other person in the car with her died. And that's how Amira got addicted to painkillers. And she says that the day that happened, like, a part of Amira died. And I guess she just made up the story about her sister. So Will, he walks up and, he tries to genuinely apologize to both Carlton and Lisa, apologizing to Lisa for not waiting to tell Amira. In my eyes, I don't feel like he told Amira. He was just like I know what's up with you. But he didn't say it flat out like, I know about the drugs. He was just like, you need help, So he walks up, he tries to apologize to them. And then, of course, he brings up Black Sass because Q's waiting on an answer. And to me, Carlton is just too emotional. Like, this bro was lying to you. Like nigga, you was just saying how you felt like Will was going to fuck up y'all chances because of all this shit he got going on with him. But now you ready to throw Black Sass away just because Amira OD'd. Like, she did some shit that ain't have nothing to do with you. Like, he get too emotional. Like, nigga, you got to handle business. You can't be letting shit like that get to you and then just be ready to dip out. Like, he just too emotional for me. Like, he talking about Carlton gets up. He's like, man, I knew you didn't care. Fuck Black Sass. It's just like, nigga, you do too much sometimes. Like, I don't like it. So he walks off. And he mentioned something about, Phil gonna be able to get Will out of his jail. Keep Will out of jail. And Lisa's like, jail. And Will's like, it's a long story. And Lisa's like, I don't even want to hear it. She's annoyed by Will too. And she just goes off on him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you annoyed by Will for, Lisa? Like, what did Will do to you besides kind of giving Amira the realization that he knew about her drugs? Like, you mad at him because she went off on you? Like, you shouldn't be mad at him. She just had her own shit going on. So Hillary, she comes to Jazz's place, jealous. She's like, Yolanda, that woman that showed up at the jail, she's not like the others. She's not like the other chicken heads you be you be having around you. So Jazz is like, yeah, Yolanda, she's somebody that really cares. And then he's like, well, why do you care? Like, you about to get married. And Hillary's like, well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do I care? And Jazz is like, and I can't even go there with Yolanda because, and then Hillary cuts him off because we have unfinished business. So they both agree to spend the night together to basically get each other out of each other's systems. I don't know why my little ghetto mind immediately thought that they were just going to smash like one last time, break up sex. which wouldn't have solved nothing. Probably would have made them fall in love more. So Carlton meets with, the white boy Connor that used to supply him the drugs. And Carlton, he mentions how he's 72 days sober. And he's like, you got the stuff? And Connor's like, no, I don't. He's like, I don't want to be that friend that knocks you off the wagon. And Carlton's like, fuck you, and he walks away. And I'm like, I was like, I ain't like this nigga Connor at first, but I'm coming around to him because that was a good friend move to make. I'm glad he didn't supply the nigga. He probably had that shit right on him and was like, nah, I don't have it on me. I'm not about to give it to you. So I was glad he didn't supply Carlton. Even though this nigga found a way to get it his own. He found another way to get it. I mean, this nigga got money, resources, so of course he was going to find another way. So Phil and Jeffrey, they having this conversation. Phil's telling Jeffrey about Will's actions and what he did, and how he did the things based off what he was watching Uncle Phil do, like him being on the wrong side. And Jeffrey, he's relating. He's mentioning how Frederick is becoming just like how he used to be, and how he don't want that to happen. So they both agree to show the boys in general the type of men that they want them to be, the type of men that they trying to be every day. So Phil's like, he goes for a drink and he's like, let's show them the type of men we're supposed to be. And Jeffrey points out, he's like, that they watching everything we do. Like basically trying to emphasize, like they watching you, how you drink too. Because remember a couple episodes before, Phil was about to take a drink and they kind of put subtext on that scene, like he was becoming a drinker hard, and then Carlton came in and he put the drink down. So I think that was them trying to let us know Phil was about to have a drinking problem, and Jeffrey kind of he was like, they watching everything we do. They was like, we got to lean on each other's and to stay on the right path. So they come to that agreement. Like I just said, Carlton, of course, he got the money, the resources. If he finds coke somewhere else, so he in the car, he eyeballing the bag of coke. We like, is he going to take it? Is he not going to take it? Will goes to DA Fred Wilkes, Lisa's dad. And, he tells him, I was there the night of the night of the arson. So I know that Jazz is innocent because I know he wasn't the one that did it. I know who did it. So DA Wilkes is telling Will, you admitting to being an accessory, that you could be facing some serious charges. And Will's just like, I don't care. I'm ready to take responsibility. I'm ready to be big man, in Jeffrey's words. So Jeffrey comes home and he has a heart-to-heart with Frederick, basically telling him how he don't want Frederick to take the same dark path that he took, and he wants him to be better than him. Like basically the conversation he had with Phil. And Frederick, he brushes it off like he didn't listen to nothing Jeffrey said. He's like, I'm the man that I am. He's like, it's in my blood. So of course DA Wilkes calls Phil and Viv to come get Will because he's a minor. So they come in and, Fred, he asks to have a word with Vivian. So Viv leaves out with Fred and it's just Phil and Will in there. So, of course, Phil's telling Will, your statement is inadmissible because you're underage and you didn't have a parent, guardian present. He's like, and plus DA Wilkes Fred already knew that. He said it's going to be consequences, but it won't be involving no jail time. Just like Jeffrey said, I mean, he can, my uncle's going to get you out of having to go to jail. Because if that was any other nigga, they'd be in jail. I mean, look at Jazz. So Will's, he's like, well, I'm ready to take responsibility for whatever. He's like, I don't want you to think that I came out here and I'm on the same bullshit as when I first came. I don't want you to think that the time I spent with you guys meant nothing. And Phil's like, he's like, of course I don't think you the same boy that came out here a year ago. He's like, you making moves. He says that I know that you saw me making moves that go against what you believe in. And he's like, he says, you turning yourself in right now shows what type of man that you have become and what kind of man you're going to be. And, Will gets emotional. He blames himself for Amira's OD thanks to Carlton bitch ass. And, Phil, he consoles him. He tells him it's not your fault. It's not Will's fault. That bitch was just wild anyway. I knew I didn't trust her ass. I mean, I get it. Addiction is real and it's a serious situation, but Like, Carlton did wrong for blaming Will. And then you crashing out. You don't want to deal with black sex no more. You letting this girl do all this to you, like, to your life. Look at you. You crashing out ready to do coke because she OD. Like, when she was sitting up here lying in your face and lying to your friends and, like, what? I just sometimes Carlton piss me off. So outside the room, Fred is talking with Viv about Lisa, and he's realizing, you tried to warn me. Lisa's talking about quitting swimming because of what happened with her friend Amira. And he's like, I realized, Viv, you were only trying to help, and he's like, and if you do have any resources you can provide to help my wife, who it seems like is struggling with PTSD. I mean, with postpartum depression. And he's like, I would really appreciate that. He's like, I don't want our differences to stop us from looking out for Lisa. And Viv's like, of course, I'm happy to help in any type of way. So Jazz and Hillary, they spending the night together. They got Jazz's, they getting high, eating ice cream, doing yoga, just laid up. They get into deep conversation about their personal issues that led them to breaking up. Hillary, being running away from situations before she has a chance to fuck them up. Jazz being too prideful and having too much ego, things like that led them to break up. And Hillary's like, she brings up her wedding. I'm about to really get married in a week, and Jazz is like, you really love this nigga? And Hillary's like, I do, but I love you too. And I'm just like, no, this is really the end of Jazz and Hillary. I was rooting for you. I was rooting for Jazz and Hillary. I'm so upset that they're not together no more. I was so pissed. I was rooting for Hillary and Jazz. Nothing against the dude, LaMarcus. He seems like a nice dude, but I was rooting for them. So Spencer, the dude from Amira's AA meetings or whatever, he holds like this prayer circle situation for Amira, for friends and family and other addicts or whatever, to recovering addicts to come to. And at this prayer circle meeting, whatever you want to call it, Lisa and Will, they kind of make up, because Lisa was mad at Will for what? I don't even fucking understand. Lisa's dad shows up for Lisa. Viv and Uncle Phil are there. Everybody's wondering where Carlton is. And, Spencer, he just explains to everyone, we're just here to lift Amira up in prayers, give kind words, things like that. So Jeffrey and Penelope, they're walking to what's supposed to be dinner, Jeffrey thought. And, Jeffrey brings up Penelope mentioning them running away together. And he's like, I actually like the idea. So then Jeffrey, he realizes in that moment that Penelope is leading him into some type of trap or to a setup or something. And he's like, you can either continue to walk me to wherever this car that's following us is trying to get me to go, or you can follow my lead. And then they ditched the tail that was following them. And Jeffrey's like, what's going on? And Penelope tells him, like, the money that you tried to give to the organization, they didn't accept it. And that beat down that Frederick got was a warning, basically. And they told me if I don't bring you to them, they was going to kill They was going to kill Frederick. And she's like, they just wanted to talk. They wanted to kill that. They was going to kill Jeffrey. So Jeffrey's like, oh, I need you to trust me in this moment. Like, do you trust me? And she's like, yeah. So then they dip out and walk away from wherever they was going. I can't believe she's about to set my man up like that. This whole time I'm thinking his son was going to set him up throughout the season because he was looking shady at first. Then it was this bitch was about to set him up. And I was happy to see Jeffrey have somebody. But I mean, I guess she seemed cool now. But I would be looking at her sideways after that. I get it, she trying to protect her son, but I feel like you could have went about it another way. So Carlton does show up at the prayer circle sober. I was like, okay, great. Hand clap. They go up and speak kind words. Lisa, she talks about Amira making her a stronger person, making her be able to speak up for herself more. Will talks about how Amira always on his ass, like basically calling out his bullshit. Carlton goes up and talks about how Amira convinced him to stay in rehab. And as he's talking, they show the scene of him dumping the coke out of his car so he doesn't take it. And I was like, okay, it's good. Good for Carlton. He's coming around, even though he gets on my nerves sometimes. And he's talking about how Amir gave him strength and showed him the strength that he has, and hopefully she can see the type of strength that she has. So Jeffrey and Penelope, they rush home to Frederick, and they like, we about to tell you some real shit about your father's past. And you gonna have to listen and take it in real quick because we ain't got that much time. So then Hillary and Jazz, they still... Oh, no. Hillary wakes up in Jazz's bed the next morning. You know, they make some jokes about how each other sleeps, and they say their goodbyes. And I'm just like, no! No one last kiss or nothing. I was just like, no, this is really the end of Jazz and Hillary. I wanted to pull my hair. I was so mad. So Carlton wakes up to Viv watching him sleep, and Viv tells Carlton how grateful she is that he's here, and she watched all them young people at the rehab and made her think about how much it takes a toll on teenagers and whatnot. And Carlton, you know, he's like, it's a challenge every day. He's like, I used to have this demon, but I slayed it, and I'm going to be okay. And they console and have that moment. Phil meets with Yolanda Porter, and he's like, you know, I got an idea for us to work together because we always wanted what's good for the people. We just had our differences at first. And he's like, I have an idea. I just need you to bring the people together. And Yolanda's like, well, I got the people. So we get this final scene. Carlton and Will are at the country club, and Carlton's apologizing to Will for the things he said to him about his dad and blaming him for Amir's OD and whatnot. And then they get a text from Q, money signs. And Will tells Carlton, you know, when you was down and out, I had chosen an investor for us. I immediately thought Carlton was gonna be mad, like, nigga, you chose somebody without my say so, But he was happy. He was cool with it. Then the nigga Drew from season 1, season 2, one of them. But the dude Drew that was trying to the one that was checking for Lisa, and the one that leaked the video of Will fighting Connor for saying nigga and all that nigga, he shows up and he's like, you know, I was abroad, but he's like, you know, I'm working with you guys now for Black Cess. And Will's like, nah, we supposed to be meeting somebody named Trent Cunningham. And Carlton's like, oh my God. And Drew's like, that's my dad. So he's like, I'm gonna be working with you guys. And they don't, I mean, of course they don't look happy because they don't fuck with this nigga. And that's how the episode ends. I know I said B-, but now that I done reviewed it, I'm gonna say C+. This episode didn't really give a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna give this episode a C+ for episode 9. But of course, comment below what you thought of episode 9 and what you would grade it, and the finale, you know, all that stuff. And like and subscribe, of course. Now I'm about to put a times. Let me just write down the time for when I'm about to talk about the finale. Let's do 23:10. Yeah, let's do 23:10. Okay, so now we're about to talk about the season finale of season 3, which is episode 10 of Bel-Air. So if you haven't seen the season 3 finale of Bel-Air, turn this video off and go watch it. Like and subscribe to the channel. I would grade this episode A-. This episode was good. It had some little moments. I would give it an A-, and just because it's the finale. I don't like how they aired the episodes 3, 3, 2, 2. It was just kind of dumb, but it is what it is. I enjoyed the finale, so I'm gonna give it an A-. And yeah, of course, comment below what you would grade the finale and episode 9 if you watched it, and what you thought of it, all that good stuff. And like and subscribe. I can't stress that enough. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the finale, turn this off. I'm about to spoil the entire episode. So the season 3 finale of Bel-Air begins with Will encouraging Carlton to make things work with Drew. Like, this is our investor. We're just going to have to deal with it. When they find Hillary downstairs searching for her engagement ring. She done lost her engagement ring. LaMarcus and his parents show up, and Hillary's telling Will and Carlton don't even say anything. And I'm like, I mean, for the most part, most people don't pay attention to people's hands. So hopefully she should be, hopefully she should be in the clear. But literally in this next scene, she gets bombed out. So Phil, Viv, and LaMarcus's dad are finishing packing up wedding gift bags. And LaMarcus notices that she's not wearing her engagement ring. And he's like, where is it? And, you know, she lies quick as hell. She's like, oh, I'm having it clean for the wedding. So as Hillary and LaMarcus leave the table, LaMarcus's dad brings up Phil kissing Erica out of nowhere. And Hillary, she overhears that, and she making a face like, of course. So she didn't know, of course. So then we get this scene. Drew is, he's pitching to Carlton and Will. He's like, we should change. We should make the Black Sets merch a little more colorful and whatnot. And Carlton's like, well, that's kind of not our brand. Like, it's supposed to be that's our whole theme is the black and white. And Will's like, well, you got to hear him out. And then Drew's like, and plus I moved that ugly ass crown out of the Black Sets name. And then Will was pissed because Will is the one that put that crown there. And he's like, well, we made that logo. We like that logo. So Carlton and Drew are button heads. Will has to diffuse the two of them. Hillary, she brings up Phil's kiss to Viv, and Viv's like, first of all, she kissed your dad. And she's like, marriage works because you have to have these uncomfortable conversations. And she's like, so if there's anything on your heart that you feel like you want to let LaMarcus know, you should. And Hillary's like, she asks Viv, like, did you wish that dad would have never told you about the kiss? And Viv says, sometimes. So that has Hillary thinking, like, should I tell LaMarcus? Should I not tell LaMarcus? I mean, I feel like, yes, she should tell him because it's best to get it out the way before y'all get married so y'all don't go into the marriage with no lies, no secrets. But also, I feel like she shouldn't tell him because she waited so long. I mean, yeah, the day she was trying to tell him, he almost died. But it's just like, it's been so long now. It's been months now. I wouldn't have told him. But I also feel like, yeah, she should tell him. So, everyone arrives in Martha's Vineyard. Will and Lisa and Carlton are taking in the view. Of course, Carlton's wishing that Amira was there. And Phil and Viv are on the balcony, on the veranda, whatever you want to call it. They getting frisky, talking about being empty nesters. And Viv says she's been feeling a little seasick. Soon as she said she was feeling a little seasick, I immediately thought, oh, maybe she's pregnant. I was like, look at me just thinking everybody pregnant because I am. I was just like, she pregnant. I was like, she pregnant. So Carlton comes over and he's asking Phil about, is there any way I can get out of this contract with Drew? And Phil ass standing there sounding like Batman talking about something, there's always a way out. Sounding like he's talking about murder and shit. I was like, he's talking about something, there's always a way. I was like, hold up. So, but then he tells Carlton, you gotta try to work through this. Like, you can't let your emotions cloud your business decisions, like he did. And he's like, watching you and Will work together on this project, he's like, it's taught me a lot. And he's like, and now I'm working on something big. But he doesn't tell Carlton. So Ashley, she bikes with Eli, who also has folks at Martha's Vineyard as well. And they talk about, like, how come we never ran into each other? We both got folks out here. So Eli, he brings up what the last thing he said to Ashley about having feelings for her. He's like, it's okay if you don't feel the same way. Ashley tells him, I do like you. But I told my parents that I already told my parents that we were just friends. So we're going to have to just keep this a little secret. Because otherwise we won't be able to hang out like we do. So Jazz, he finds Hillary's engagement ring in his shoe. And he calls Will. And Will goes to Hillary and Ivy. And Hillary, she's still freaking out about not finding the ring. So Ivy, she on the phone with Jazz. And she pleading for him to catch a fucking plane and a ferry ride to come drop that ring off. So Will, Carlton, Lisa, and Ashley, they have brunch. And Lisa and Ashley spot a rainbow and they make wishes. Lisa wishes for a sign from her mom to keep swimming. And Ashley wishes for her first kiss before high school, which Carlton and Will are like, no boys, no girls. Ew, that's gross. So Will goes to meet with his mom, who brings her +1, a man named Gerald, who she seems to be dating. And it throws Will for a loop. And before he could even say anything, and Vaz like, oh, me and Gerald, we're gonna be staying at the inn. We're not staying at the house. And before Will could even say anything, Lisa comes over and changes the subject. Hey Lisa. So he don't get to say nothing right then and there. So then we get this quick little scene where Hillary is about to tell LaMarcus about the kiss. But then at last minute, she changed her mind and decides not to. Brings up some prenup situation. LaMarcus is like, I don't want no prenup, baby. This is forever. So then we get this super dope scene where the men of the wedding party are taking pictures and whatnot. Vi and Gerald arrive, and Will asks for a moment alone with Gerald, and just a man-to-man talk. Keeps calling him Jimmy though. He's like, let me talk to you, Jimmy. So he's like, as long as you treat my mom right, we won't have no problems. And Gerald tells Will, I care deeply for your mother. And then he makes this comment about Vi gets a lot of attention in Philly. And that throws Will off for some reason. And then we go back to the picture taking, and Jeffrey's taking pictures with Phil. He has this heartfelt comment about how, family and love family. And then he has these heart-to-hearts with Will and Carlton as they're taking pictures. Kind of sounding like he's giving his goodbyes, but they don't realize it, of course. So then we get the ladies of the wedding party taking pictures and whatnot. And Vi and Viv, they give Hillary her something old, which is their mom's wedding handkerchief. Has been passed down. And Ivy gives Hillary her something borrowed, which is her pearl earrings. And Ashley and Lisa give Hillary her something new, which is the broom that her and LaMarcus are going to jump in the ceremony. So Jazz arrives and Will goes to meet him. And they finally incorporate the little handshake with that Will and Jazz do. They do the psh. But they modernized it. They did some extra shit. They was like, psh. And I was just like, no, it should have just been simple like they usually do. But I like that they incorporated the handshake in some way. On the finale, though, of all times. So before Jazz gives Will the ring, he like, I feel like this is a sign that she could have lost it anywhere. She lost it at my place, and I had to come here to drop it off. And he's like, the least I could do is give it to her in person. And Will's like, man, don't fuck this wedding up. So he takes, he makes sure the coast is clear. He takes he sneaks Jazz the seat to Hillary's room. Jazz comes in there, and he's in awe of Hillary, even though she ain't even in her wedding dress yet. She in like some type of wedding intimate wear or something. And he asks her, are you happy? And she's like, yes. And then he's like, I can't let you walk down the aisle. And I was like, yes. And then he was like, without the ring. And then he put the ring on the finger. I was like, no. I was like, what the fuck? Why are they doing this to me? They was pissing me off. So he was like, not without this. And then he put the ring on her finger. And I was just like, oh. When he said, I can't let you walk down that aisle, I was like, oh, snap. Viv introduces Lisa to this world-renowned Paralympic champion, Jamal Hill. And Lisa, she talks about how she hasn't been feeling swimming lately. And Jamal, he tells her his difficulties before joining the Paralympics, and tells her, let your grit make you stronger. And we can kind of see that this is the sign that Lisa was looking for from her mom to keep swimming. And I was like, oh. So Will and Hillary are walking Jazz out, and LaMarcus comes out of nowhere. He's ready to get at Jazz. He's like, why are you always popping up? Da-da-da. So Will, he tries to make some dumbass, Jazz was already here because it's black people season. And then he takes Jazz away, and Hillary, she tells LaMarcus, look, I left my ring at his place. Nothing happened. We just needed closure. And then she finally comes clean about the kiss. And, LaMarcus gets furious, and Hillary's like, there's no more secrets, nothing else. And LaMarcus is like, I can't do this. And he storms out. So Will and Ashley, they go find LaMarcus sitting on a bench in his feelings. And, they start off by telling him how they were Team Jazz from jump. And I'm just like, not the best way to start the conversation. But he's like, okay, Team Jazz. But then they tell him how much they realize that Hillary loves him, and that she chose him over Jazz, and to just hear Hillary out. So they walk away, and Hillary comes over, and she's like, you don't deserve any of this. You treat me like a queen from the moment we met in high school. And she's like, our parents, they fight for their marriages and for what they want. So I'm willing to fight for ours, even though we're not even married yet. She's like, and I love you and nobody else. Even though she just told Jazz in the last episode that she loved him too. But, I mean, I get it, what you're trying to do, Hillary. So she's like, well, and if you love me too, meet me at the altar. Another Jagged Edge reference. So Andra Day comes out to sing for the wedding. Shout out to Andra Day, who just delivered a spectacular performance on The Deliverance. That was a good-ass movie. I don't really like how it ended, but, I mean, I appreciated the movie. I only watched it because of Monique. I don't really watch horror stuff, but it was a good movie. I would say check it out. Shout out to Andra Day. So she comes out singing as the wedding begins, and everybody is walking down the aisle, is wondering where LaMarcus is. The parents are like, where's our son? And Carlton's like, I'm going to kill Jazz. And Lisa's like, where's LaMarcus? Everybody's like, where's LaMarcus? So Hillary approaches Phil, who of course going to walk her down the aisle. Walk her down the aisle, and she brings up the conversation that they had a couple episodes ago, where he was talking about mistakes, and she relating to it because he kissed somebody, she kissed somebody, and she's like, you told me that even though we make mistakes, we got to still show up, make sure we show up for the ones that we love, and that's what I'm doing because I love LaMarcus, and I know you love Mom. So Phil walks. By the way, let's talk about Hillary's wedding outfit. I didn't really feel it. I wasn't really feeling it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think if it was anything that she had on that I liked. I wasn't really feeling the wedding outfit. The bride. I mean, everybody got their own little taste, but I wasn't really feeling it. I just had to point that out for a second. So Phil walks Hillary down the aisle. LaMarcus finally shows up. And, the ceremony begins. And, of course, the pastor asks, if there's anybody who believes these two should not be wed, speak now, forever hold your peace. Everybody looking around like, where the fuck is Jazz at? Like, where's Jazz at? He better not say a damn thing. And I was just like, I object. I was in the damn TV. I was watching the TV like, I object, goddammit. She belong with Jazz, goddammit. But, the ceremony finishes. Hillary and LaMarcus jump the broom. Jazz, he's watching from afar, then he leaves, and I'm just like, oh man. So now he about to be with this senator chick. With this city council chick. Oh, excuse me. So everybody's grooving at the reception, and Eli and Ashley done snuck some champagne. They holding hands, watching the sunset, and Ashley's like, well, I'm going to tell my parents about us. And then, Eli, he brings up, I want to kiss who I want to kiss. So I'm thinking they about to kiss, and I'm like, okay, that's what Ashley wished for. But they don't show them kissing. And I was like, good, goddammit. Gross, Ashley. So Lisa and Will are dancing, and Lisa tells Will about the sign from her mom to keep swimming, meeting Jamal Hill. And Lisa, she urges Will to go talk to his mom about, the comment that Gerald made and about Gerald in general. He didn't know she was dating or whatever the case may be. So Will goes over, can I have this dance with my mom? He starts dancing. He's like, I watched Jazz put his feelings aside today for someone he loves, so I guess I better do the same thing when it comes to you. And, Val's like, I didn't want to bring no man around you that I don't think is going to stay. And she's like, but I feel like, things are working out now. She's like, I had a big burden over my shoulders, but that conversation you made me and your father have really helped. So everybody's dancing, smiling, having a good time. Jeffrey's standing at the top, overlooking everybody. Basically looking like, oh, this is my last time I'm going to see them. Like, we can tell Jeffrey's getting ready to leave. And I'm just like, what type of sense do this make? Like, Jeffrey ain't never leave. Oh, it was like a episode where Jeffrey had quit or got fired or something and left. And then the kids went to go get him back. But I don't think it's going to happen like that on this one. So the next day, Carlton comes into Will's room, excited to share his news that he might have another chance at Princeton. And Will's like, all right, but I need you to do something for me. So Will sits Carlton and Drew down and makes them come to an agreement to work together, put their differences aside for the sake of Black Blacksess. And they both agree. And they like, we're going to take senior year by storm. So I'm assuming the next season they're going to be back in school. Because I was watching the interviews that Will had with the cast, and he mentioned, like, on the sitcom, they never had a summer They never did a summer type of situation with Bel-Air. I mean, with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So it was crazy to see them do summertime on Bel-Air. So Will Carlton and Lisa, they go to see Amira off before she leaves for Boston for this new rehab program. And Amira does apologize to Lisa and Will for the way she came at them and things she said to them and whatnot. So then we get to St. Phil. He holds this press conference to announce that the Campbell Project is now being invested by a new investor, which is like black leaders from in and around the community, including himself. And after that, Will, he's daydreaming at the basketball court like he missed it, basically. And then he and Carlton realized they hadn't seen Jeffrey all day. Or for a minute, for the most part. And then we cut away to Phil, who finds a goodbye letter from Jeffrey in his office. And Viv holds a pregnancy test up that's positive. And I was just like, I knew her ass was pregnant. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. But I was like, remember on the sitcom, they did have that little baby the last season or so? The little baby Nikki. And Hillary and LaMarcus are enjoying their honeymoon in Turks and Caicos. She walks across the room to get them some glasses of champagne. And when she comes back to the bed, LaMarcus is unconscious. And I'm just like, oh, man, not again. And then Will goes to Jeffrey's apartment to find it cleared out. And when he leaves, he gets kidnapped by the same guys that beat Frederick up and that was tailing Jeffrey when they tried to get Penelope to take him to that dinner. And I'm just like, oh, shit, that's crazy as hell. But like I said, I would still give it an A-. I like that they finally incorporated the handshake between Will and Jazz. I am pissed that Jazz and Hillary didn't get back together. I was kind of pissed about that. But I liked the wedding, the whole wedding situation. The whole wedding was pretty. The venue, the setup, everything was pretty. I just didn't like Hillary's dress. The bridesmaid dresses was good. It was pretty. I thought the bridesmaid dresses was pretty, especially Lisa's. But, yeah, I would grade it an A-. I mean, Jeffrey gonna have to come back now. They didn't kidnap Will. What else? What just happened? Viv is pregnant, so I can't wait to see how that's about to go. And it was just one more thing. I can't remember. Oh yeah, we saw Carlton writing. I don't know if he was writing a memoir or if he was writing a new paper for Princeton. Oh yeah, and Hillary and LaMarcus. I mean, I hope LaMarcus is okay, but if he not, I'm still rooting for Hillary and Jazz. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say it like that, but if LaMarcus is dead, then that means that there's still hope for Hillary and Jazz. If he ain't already moved on with Yolanda, I mean, but yeah, we should just see what the next season shall bring. It's going to be senior year, and Ashley going to be going into high school with this boyfriend. So we shall see how this stuff is going to play out. And I wonder if Amira is going to come back and go to the same school as them. Because what school was she going to? I don't know. But anyways, those are my little thoughts or what have yous for the next season and for episodes 9 and 10. But let me know in the comments what y'all thought of episodes 9 and the season finale. What y'all would grade it. All that good stuff. Like and subscribe to the channel. I can't express that enough. I need 300 million subscribers, but I will settle for 300 subscribers right now. So help me get to over 300 subscribers. Yeah. Episode 9, I'm going to grade it a C+. The finale, episode 10, I'm going to grade it an A-. Of course, let me know in the comments what y'all thought. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.